Good morning, stylist from the back room. Good morning, Eddie.
Good morning, Carmelina. Good morning.
How's your week been?
Busy week. Here we go. What do you got for us this week?
Well, last time I looked was we have a topic of microfusion. What are your thoughts about it?
Microfusion from the all nutrient brand Microfusion.
Yes, microfusion from All Nutrient.
Okay. All right. I like Microfusion. I think it's really cool stuff. What are we going to talk about?
Well, let's talk about some insights and what does it do.
Okay. Do you want to
So,
start us off?
so From my understanding of microfusion, because I've used it, of course, a handful of times at the back bar, and if you see that your client has dry hair, limp, like over processed, and they need some help, especially with frizz, humidity, and all that stuff as well, you you shampoo them at the back bar, and then you rinse you squeeze all the water out of their hair, and while they're laying there you put some microfusion in their hair, and you put it all the way through from the roots to the ends, and you let it sit there for about 20 minutes and see, and then you just you know rinse it out, and there you have a nice treatment, and it helps revive your hair. It's like a shock to your hair, like, "Hey, I'm thirsty."
That's cool. Okay. So then is that something that you should do all the time, or is that something you should do once in a while?
You can do it all the time if the hair needs what it needs, or you can do it, a couple times a week, once a week, whatever your hair needs, it'll tell you.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great use of the directions. That's a great example for the directions. And then as you know, I always have to nerd out on this stuff and I have to get real
Yeah, the
technical.
science.
I love the science. I can't help myself. But the way that works is there is a lot of the things that we got to talk about really is about pH and the pH balance in the hair. So when we do hair color, when we do smoothing treatments, when we do even blow drying and flat ironing, anything with heat involved, right? It
Correct.
always moves the pH balance of the hair over to the right, above neutral. And the reason why that matters, the reason why that's important is because, we talk, everybody knows these words, everybody's heard these words, but nobody really truly understands why it matters so much. When you overprocess your hair, it becomes overly porous, which means um, the hydration levels dry out. The condition of the hair gets damaged, it gets dry, it gets brittle. We hear all these words, we know all these words, right?
Oh,
But we
yeah.
still don't understand what they ever mean. So by the time you keep over processing the hair so many times and you keep damaging the hair, you keep messing up the pH balance of the hair. So that's what microfusion is designed to do, is to really, like you're saying, you put it on, you let it sit for 20 minutes, you rinse it off. It really helps to restore that pH balance of the hair back to that neutral state,
Mhm.
especially in situations where we do overcolor, we do overtreat, we do over style the hair. Those would be more layman's terms, right? Especially if we over process in lightening, in bleaching, in coloring. A lot of the people that you want to be, bright red. You want this bright red
Mhm.
hair. Well, your hair naturally is dark, so you have to go through a lot of processing to get
Yeah.
your hair light enough so when you put the red over it, it's nice and bright. Same thing with blondies. You got to do a lot of highlighting. You got to do a lot of processing,
Mhm.
but they can get nice and bright and be platinum. Especially the platinum blondes. They don't want to be brassy. So
Right.
it's your treatment. That's a lot of stuff happening in that hair. So yeah, you need treatments. You got to do something to the hair to bring it back down under control. So microfusion in those kind of scenarios is really good too, because it helps restore a lot of that amino acids, a lot of those nutrition, a lot of that ingredients that get lost, especially the keratin depletion.
Mhm.
All that protein in your hair, that's all your strength. So if you lose that, your hair snaps. There's no more strength left in the hair. Okay. Now, another thing you can do is you can mix it with the pure oil. So you can cocktail it together. The pure oil is essential fatty acid based. So that means it helps protect the elasticity of the hair, the ability for it to stretch. So you mix those two together and it really becomes even more of a deep conditioning treatment than before. Because the
Yeah.
pure oil is freaking amazing by itself. It really, really helps protect the stretch of the hair. And why does the stretch of the hair matter? When you're blow drying, you're pulling. When you're brushing,
Stretching.
you're pulling, you're stretching. When you're highlighting the hair, you're stretching. Everything you're doing stretches out the hair. That's that tensile strength we talk about all the time, you know? And so by the time you're restoring that and you're restoring the strength and the amino acids and all the vital nutrition, now this is how you start to have more balanced out porosity. And when you have balanced out porosity, now you're more even.
Mhm.
Now you've got stronger, healthier hair. When you go to put in that color, it's going to last longer. It's going to last better. When you put in the styling products, it's going to help make the hair bouncy. It's going to help it last all day. Exactly.
And
you know,
you get shine too. Mhm.
you do.
You get
Yes,
you get the best of all the world.
you really, really do. Because I mean, at that point, this is what we're going on about all the time. You need to have your hair balanced and healthy. And that's
Yeah.
that's really everything what we're talking about right now. So it makes a huge difference. It makes a huge, huge difference in that regards. And then when you go in and you put your regular styling products that lower the pH into more acidic levels, the
Mhm.
other side of the porosity
Yeah.
spectrum, you're protecting your porosity. You're keeping and maintaining that moisture level, that hydration level. And at the end of the day, that's the whole game of hair. The longer you can keep moisture in there, the longer your hair looks good. The longer
Mhm.
your hair is dry, the faster your ends get brittle and break apart and look straggly or ratty or whatever the words are. Okay. And we talk about this a lot in hair extensions, especially in hair extensions. We talk about it so much
Mhm.
because the hair isn't attached to your scalp. It can't get the natural oils and nutrition from your scalp. So it needs it from somewhere else. And that somewhere else is going to be treatments. And that's why treatments are so vital. And especially now in the summertime, whichever part of the country you're in, man, I'll tell you what, in Chicago
Yeah.
over here, it's
The
been,
humidity.
yeah, the humidity's out of control. And that's
Yeah.
wreaking havoc on everybody's hair.
Oh
90
yeah.
degrees and humidity is freaking sucks. Okay. And in some parts of the country, they've got 100 degrees. They got over 90 freaking degrees. It's even
Yeah.
hotter.
Ooh. Okay.
So, and then you get that flash rain for like 12 minutes. And then now it's just sticky. Now the air itself is
Yeah.
just a sticky hot mess. It's not good. It is not good for the hair at all. So these are all the reasons why a product like microfusion from all nutrient is really, really a key product in helping maintain the condition of the hair. So that's the review of microfusion, right? So let's
Yeah.
talk about it. So you mentioned, using it. So now
Okay.
I've used it on you before, so we could talk about your hair directly because your hair looks like, I talk about you all the time. I make fun of you on here all the time. And I'm always talking about how you have more hair than should be allowed. You got greedy at the buffet. You went for extra helpings.
I don't think so.
Yeah. All right. Well, so talk about your hair a little bit and talk about the curliness of it and the difference of when it's dry versus when you have the hydration. Your curls being bouncy versus just dragging.
So yes, I've done a lot of things to my hair. Like I have red. I used to have like caramel highlights, so my hair would get through like all the processing, like lightener, color, and all that. So especially curly hair, you have to keep it hydrated, or it's gonna look limp curls, not so tight and bouncy. So I do use the microfusion, but also on a regular basis, I not only I wash my hair twice a week, but I wet and condition all the time. You have to keep your curls. So
Real quick,
also,
real
uh,
quick. You say you wash your hair twice a week, but you wet and condition your hair all the time.
condition every
Explain
day.
that a little bit more details because I don't think people really appreciate or understand what that means.
So every day of the week, I go in the shower, I wet my hair, and instead of using shampoo, I put a little conditioner on, and I let it sit for about a minute or two, and then I rinse it off, continue to shower, and be on my way, to style my hair and all that. And I do a couple times of the week, I use the microfusion, so this way it could help also with the hydration, not only it's the deep, like conditions it deeper, and it helps, like you said, with elasticity and everything, so my hair's not limp and it's curly and bouncy. So it does help, with the frizz and humidity and all that that's going on in my hair. But yeah, you have to condition. That's all I can say. Every day, like no problem. You don't have to shampoo then condition. Yeah, you do that twice a week, and then every day just wet, condition, let it sit, and then rinse out. And then after you get out, put in a leave-in, smoothing cream and a mousse and diffuse, and you'll have bouncy curly hair. Just keep hydration going.
So when you're at the salon, you tell me sometimes you talk to other clients who have curly hair like how you have curly hair. And
Yes.
you tell them that, and what do they say to you?
Well, they're like, "Oh, interesting," because they probably don't know. Because like I know some people, they just wash, like shampoo, condition twice a week and then leave it alone, and they don't put like all the good stuff like the leave-ins and get deep conditioning, or use microfusion or anything, so they don't know, and they're like, huh. And then after they give it a try, I'm like, well, experiment, try this. And then they tell me like, wow, like, yeah, my hair feels better. And I was like, well, if you don't know, you don't know. And also with curly hair, you could only comb it once. It's not like you have straight hair and you can comb it like midday or before you go to bed. No, you can't. Or it gets like a lion's mane.
Why? Talk about that a little bit more. Why does that happen?
Why does it get like a lion's mane when you brush it? Because like the curls just untwine, and it just keeps going big. Like you just keep combing in it, more volume. Like you're just like, whoa, you can't walk through the door anymore.
So, on social media and in a lot of other classes, a lot of people do say, don't wash curly hair every day. Don't get it wet every day because, it's a lot of work to have to redo it from scratch all the time.
Well, and you need it. I don't care what they say. You really truly need it. Otherwise, if your hair, especially curly hair, is not hydrated, it doesn't look so good. And you just need the moisture.
So we're heavily discussing about curly hair, but I want everybody to understand that it's not just curly. Curly hair is the extreme example,
Right,
right?
straight hair needs it too. You can have dry ends, limp, brittle, like how you were talking about. And one after you do those treatments, and then people like feel their hair when you're blow dry, and they're like, and you tell them feel this, and they're like, wow, that's soft. Well, you need it.
That happened yesterday at the office. The stylist felt your hair
Oh
and
yeah, she came to pick up stuff, and yeah, she was like wondering, and we told her like you have to, keep moisture and do some treatments, and it's not going to be hard and crunchy, like yeah, some people put mousse and you can make it really hard and crunchy, but there's no purpose for that.
she was
And
really shocked how soft your
yeah,
hair. She thought your hair was going to feel more dry because that's what everybody's used to.
yeah, correct.
It always fascinates me, and I always get a little laugh about how often you tell people how much you condition your hair and how much leave-in you put in on top of that, and how much other treatment products you put in on top of that. You are constantly putting stuff in your hair, and everyone's always like, "Oh my God!" They're so amazed
Yeah, you
when you
have
don't.
to go through the steps. Hmm.
You have to go through those steps when if you don't have curly hair, you don't understand. It sounds like a lot. But if you do have curly hair, like you just get it. It's like, yeah, you got to put everything in there. What do they say? Everything and the kitchen sink. You got to
No,
throw everything in there.
yeah,
So,
everything but the kitchen sink.
but the kitchen sink, I'm saying, and the kitchen sink, I'll throw that in there too.
Wow.
You know that goes. But I think in the beginning, you yourself weren't aware that you had to condition your hair that much and that often. So then when
Right,
I
I mean,
started,
I had an idea, but I'm just like, and then, I wouldn't put like so much things in my hair, like leave-in or a smoothing cream or something. I would just put mousse and call it a day. But then after you can feel the difference, and you're like, wait a minute, like it takes a couple minutes, but especially for curly hair, you need to put it in. I
yeah,
mean, even for straight and wavy hair too, you should be using a leave-in, and if you use heat on your hair, you should have a heat protectant as well.
I again, people just don't understand. Everybody thinks, oh, if I leave it alone, everything will be fine. If I don't do anything to it, naturally
Mm-mm.
everything will be fine. Like magically, everything will be fine. And it's like people just don't appreciate how much work is involved in maintaining healthy hair and
Right.
just maintaining anything. It just takes work all the time.
Yeah,
It's the same
extra
thing with
5 minutes.
yeah, as simple as that. 5 minutes a day is
Mhm.
really not a lot of time at all, but everybody makes it sound like it's such a big deal. So it's cool. And then at the salon,
Okay.
I'll always have you throw treatments onto the clients for me,
Yes.
especially back at the shampoo bowl.
Mhm.
I leave them back at the shampoo bowl, but sometimes stylists will put them under the dryer or they'll make them put them with a processing cap. They'll wrap their
Oh,
hair.
yeah, sometimes.
So take your what's the word I'm looking for? Take your best guess. Why do you think? I know you're not a stylist, but take your best guess. Why do you think that is?
Why they put them under the heat for
Yeah,
20 minutes
yeah.
instead of leaving? Um, my guess is because they're like want to hurry up the process somehow, but it's gonna do what it's gonna do. Um, let's see. Yeah, that's my best guess. I don't know.
So speeding up the speeding up the process. Any kind of heat will help swell the
Like
cuticle a little bit
activation.
more, activate the product a little bit more to help it penetrate a little deeper into the hair. That's the whole idea behind,
Okay.
using heat, right? Uh, but as far as speeding up the process, we still leave them underneath for 20 minutes, even with the heat
Yeah, so either
exchanger.
way. I feel like it's better to like massage it in and then, of course, like let them sit there and then you can go back and you can always massage in again and they have like a little time left and then you rinse it out.
So by massaging it into the hair, right? And by massaging, we're talking about this. You take
Yes,
the hair, you sandwich it in between the palms of your hands, and then
yeah.
you're just rubbing it in. So you're using mechanical pressure, which is
Friction.
your hands, and you're creating friction. Yep, by rubbing your hands together. Absolutely right. And
Yeah.
so that's
I get
that's
excited.
no, you know these things. And this is why I talk about all the time. Like we all know these things. We just don't realize we know these things.
True.
And you don't realize the science or the technical behind why you know these things. You just know you're supposed to do it. But if you don't understand why you're doing what you're doing, then you're never going to be efficient at it. You're never going to get it right.
Mm-hmm.
You're just doing, imagine you're doing all that work and you're only getting half the result from it. You're not getting the full perfect result that you could be getting. So you're
Yeah.
willing to put, that's the worst offender of everything, is you're willing to put in that time and effort, and but you're not doing, yeah, and you're just not doing it efficiently, you're not doing it correctly, and you just, all that time and effort, then you get discouraged. Then you're like, oh well, see, I have been doing it and it's not working, so to hell with it, I'm not going to do it anymore. Well, then you
Yeah.
stop doing it, and all of a sudden now your hair goes even worse. So like you may have not been getting the full best result, but you were getting something better than nothing.
True.
And that's unfortunately how that goes. So yeah, working it in helps a lot. Massaging it in, works, helps a lot. The putting them under the dryer, I, yeah, it's not, this is the thing. It's not necessary. Some people think you have to do it. You don't
Okay.
have to do it. You could just sit there for 20 minutes and let the hair absorb naturally, because your hair is
Yeah.
like a sponge. And it's like a container. It can only, like, I've drank this much, right? So there's this much more room left in there for hydration and moisture. Once that fills up, that's it. It's over. It's not going to fill up anymore.
Yeah.
So you can let the hair naturally absorb whatever it wants, and then the rest of it will just sit on the top and rinse off. You can put them
Mm-hmm.
under the heat and try to force some extra in there, and that's fine too. You can massage it in really to work it in there. It also kind of depends on how damaged your hair is. That's really kind of like what it comes down to as well. You know,
Right.
and then mixing it with the pure oil, that helps a lot too. Now, what happens if you leave it on for too long? What if you go past 20 minutes?
Well, my guess is that I mean the hair is gonna, like you said, drink and take what it's gonna take. I think it's not gonna be like oversaturated. I don't think so. It's just gonna take what it wants and leave the rest.
And it just leaves the rest. So we say 20 minutes, right? Yeah, if you accidentally leave it on for 30 or longer or whatever, it's not going to be the end of the world. It's not going to be bad, you know.
Okay.
That also doesn't mean you should go to sleep in it. Have you heard about these treatments where
Oh
they
yeah,
say put
you
it in
don't
and then
go
go
to
to bed?
sleep. Yeah, you don't do that.
So can you take a guess as to why? What is your opinion? Why should you not go to sleep with the wet hair?
Well, you don't want to get like a head cold or something, and like I don't know, like why? Why would you want to keep it on and you have like this product and then you're like sleeping and you have all this slimy stuff on your pillow? Like I don't know.
Well, no, you're supposed to put a wrap or a towel down or something. The idea is the longer you leave it on, if you leave it on overnight, you leave it on for 8, 9, 10, 12 hours,
It's
you
probably
sleep 13.
overkill. I don't know.
But it's silky smooth. It makes it so magically silky smooth, right? That's the advertisement. That's the idea behind it. I've seen the Gremlin movies,
Yeah,
that, yeah, you don't feed them after midnight, you never get them wet,
like
and you
it's
never expose them
crazy.
to sunlight. Craziness will happen, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with going to sleep overnight. The hair, only absorbs as much as it can absorb. The rest of it is just sitting there. And when you're
Yeah.
sleeping with wet hair, with moisture in it like that, actively moisturized hair like that, you're asking for tangle, you're asking for friction, you're asking for frizz.
Oh
Okay.
no.
I'm so against it. I am so adamantly against doing that. So I still haven't seen any proper science to convince me otherwise. And I'm just going off of facts and science. I'm not going off of opinions or it worked for one person, therefore it should work for everybody. This
Yeah.
you see an influencer do it and they're like, oh my God, see, no, for her type of hair, somehow that worked and good for her. You see this celebrity on the red carpet, they did it once. Oh, well, you know what? That would for that type of hair, for that exact person, they did it once and it worked, good for her. That doesn't mean that's the blanket thing that, it goes viral. That moment goes viral and everybody's excited and everybody wants to do
Yeah.
something. And this is why I'm always talking about, you hear me at the salon talking about that to clients all the time. Your type of hair, you should be doing it this way. Your type of hair, you should be doing it this way.
Yeah, everyone's hair is different. You're right. Like I could show any picture, and on that person, it looks like that, and when I do it, it could look different.
It could look different. Even your own hair. Now that your hair is in a better condition from when it was in the beginning, even now, the products that I give you to use in the shower are different than what they were from before. I tell you to use
Mhm.
your products differently than how you've been using them from before. It's always constantly changing. It's always
Yeah.
constantly updating. We always have to be prepared to make adjustments. Make
Yeah.
sense?
Mhm.
Okay. So then you think you got a pretty good idea about all this stuff?
Yeah, I guess so.
Something I like to do a lot is do a little pop quiz. You want to do one?
Okay, sure.
Do you want the multiple choice or should I just ask you and you know the answers?
I guess I will stick with multiple choice. Back up.
All right, here we go. What is the primary benefit of using the all nutrient microfusion? Is it to add temporary color, to strengthen hair, restore elasticity, and improve hydration, to make the hair more porous, or to lighten natural hair color?
Strengthen the hair.
Strengthen the hair. That's what we've been talking about. Yeah, it's kind of like you had a little review before the quiz, right?
Huh, good.
All right. This one's going to be a little techie, little technical. What
Mhm.
type of technology powers microfusion's reparative action? Is it protein fillers and waxes? Is it oils and silicone, keratin, amino acids, and antioxidants, or sea salt and vinegar?
Amino acids?
Keratin, amino
Yeah,
acids, and antioxidants.
yeah.
Isn't sea salt and vinegar the chips that you like to eat?
No, not me. Don't like that. I like
You know,
chili and limon.
chili and limon, huh?
Yes. No vinegar. Ugh.
I got you. I got you. Yeah, you want to be careful of waxes. Any kind of waxes is going to put a coating over the hair shaft, and then that's actually going to block nutrition from getting in. So you want to be careful of heavy, because people hear like protein fillers, like, oh, protein, that's supposed to be good, protein. And it's like, depends how it's being used, okay? And oils and silicones, again, that's the trick. Oils can be good, but silicones,
Not so good.
if you overdose, can be
Yeah.
bad. I'm not saying all silicones are bad, but if you overdose the hair, it can be bad. So you want to be careful of stuff like that too. So yeah, keratin gives you strength, amino acids give you the nutrition, and antioxidants help protect the hair and restore the hair from chemical damage and heat damage and stuff like that. So yeah, that works out pretty good.
Mhm.
What kind of hair on I can't read. On what
Um,
kind of hair can microfusion be used? Only color treated hair, all types of hair, especially damaged and chemically processed, virgin hair, or fine hair.
All types of hair.
All types of hair. So there's a lot of people with fine, thin, soft, delicate, compromised, however you want to refer to it as. A lot of people get nervous to put conditioning treatments on there because they think it's going to weigh it down and make it like flat and limp.
I think it like helps out. So it's not like dry and looking limp.
You're right, absolutely. And also, again, because we're talking so much about the proteins and the amino acids, it's going to build it up and make it thicker because it's making it stronger. It's filling in, it's restoring, filling in the hair shaft. So by default, it's going to be thicker. That's awesome, you know? It's actually a
Yeah.
good. And then a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people think, "Oh, I have virgin hair. I've never done anything to my hair. Therefore, I don't need any treatments." Have you heard people say that, or what do you think of that?
Yeah, probably people do say I heard a handful of times, but it's good to put a treatment just because it's virgin hair. You know, like how you always say porosity and all that for your hair. You the density and all that. Like even when you throw color, you don't know what it's gonna do. You want it to do one thing, but it could do something else. So it's the same with the treatment. You need the moisture or smoothing or whatever you need to do to it.
I agree with you. You're right. The reason why I brought this up is because the thing with virgin hair, a lot of people think, "Oh, you've never done anything to it. It must be so healthy." I actually disagree.
Yeah, you
If
never know.
say again?
I said you never know what they've been doing to their hair. You don't know.
Well, the thing is, you don't know what they've been doing to their hair, right? And because it's virgin hair, they've never colored it, they've never processed it, they've never done treatments to it. Okay, you're going to lose, you're going to degrade, you're going to get erosion, you're going to lose stuff from your hair. You're
Mm,
never doing anything to restore it. So you should be doing especially conditioning treatments. You should be using products like the microfusion to help restore and balance out the pH, and
yeah,
mixing it even with the pure oil and doing like a full deep conditioning treatment in there. You actually need more help because it's virgin hair. When a lot of people don't realize, coloring, they just think, "Oh, I'm just doing hair color. I don't want to color my hair." And especially like now, there's the trend where a lot of people, they want to let their natural grow back out and just be gray.
yeah,
And I tell you, hear me say this at the salon all the time. Okay, then let's do the 00 clear. Let's do a color glaze on you. And like, "Oh,
yeah,
what's that?" I'm like, "It's hair color without color. It gives you all the benefits of coloring your hair, the strengthening, the restoring, the adding pigmentation, filling in all the gaps. It does all of those things, but it's clear color. So you won't
mhm,
see any color, but you'll just get all the benefits from it. Same
yeah,
thing. It's the same idea." And they're like, "Oh, wow, that sounds cool. I didn't know something like that exists." Like, because too many people ignorantly believe that it doesn't do anything because they can't see it. And it's like, it's a freaking treatment. It goes into the hair. It does something. Um, Imagine it's like when you're driving down the street and you see all these potholes. This is the example I give all the time. You got all
oh
these
yeah,
potholes in the street, right? If you never fill them up, then you're just going to have bumpy road. You're not going to have a smooth drive. You got to
right.
fill in all those gaps in the hair, just like you got to fill in all those gaps in the street. So you're going to have smooth, you know, that's how you get it. So that's the little thing on that one. All right.
Mhm.
This one's going to be a hard question. You ready for this one?
Okay.
How long should microfusion be left on the hair during a treatment? 5
Hmm.
minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or overnight?
Hmm. 20 minutes.
Should have said overnight just to be goofy, right?
Yeah. Right.
All right. What is the ideal way to use microfusion for maximum results? Is it to apply to dry hair and rinse immediately? To apply to damp hair and leave on for 20 minutes? Use it as a detangler or add it to your color and lightener formulations?
Put it on here and leave it for 20 minutes.
Leave it on for 20 minutes. Optionally, I'm just going to keep throwing it out there. Optionally, you can mix it with the pure oil.
Oil.
Yeah. Okay. Little nerdy. What does the pH in microfusion refer to? Is it the hair's lightening level, the shampoo phase, the balance of acidity and alkalinity in the hair and scalp, or it's a vitamin in the formula?
The balance of alkalinity?
Acidity and alkalinity?
Yes.
Why do you think that one?
Because to keep the balance levels.
It's so cute because you're not a stylist, but you've been hanging around us for so long. You you have like this knowledge bank base and understanding of stuff. You just don't know how or why you know it. It's so awesome. It's hilarious because then people will start talking to you, like stylists will start talking to you, and you're telling them stuff, and they're like, "Wait, are you talking about this?" You're like, "Yeah, yeah."
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, you know so good." You're like, "Yeah, yeah." For April Fools next year, I'm gonna set up a
Oh,
what date is April Fools next year? Hold on.
check the calendar. I don't have one handy.
It's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday.
Oh.
We should set up a class on that Wednesday, and I'm gonna have you be the instructor. I'm gonna sit. Okay, that's what I want you to do. When you go to the salon, I want you to request Wednesday, April 1st off.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I'm gonna start advertising a class, and you're gonna be the instructor for that day.
Oh
I'm
God.
already planning out my April Fools 6 months in advance.
Oh my God. Ooh, stress level to the maximum.
Here's the sad part of it. It's gonna actually become a good class. Everybody's gonna be asking you questions, and you're actually gonna do good.
Right? And
So
then
it's
I'm like,
gonna be on me,
Ellie.
really.
I'm like, Ellie, now you can jump in. I'm done. I'm
Oh,
running out.
all right. What hair condition does microfusion specifically help prevent? Is it fading, high growth fatigue, tangling, or curl shrinkage?
I'm gonna say it again.
What hair condition does microfusion specifically help prevent? Fading, high growth fatigue, tangling, or curl shrinkage?
I do fatigue
What does that even mean?
when the hair doesn't have all its nutrients and it's dry and limp. I don't know.
Okay, yes. And so that's the cause. What's the effect? What happens? What's
When
another word for that? Take a guess.
like instead of dry and fatigued, the we're not hydrated. I got hmm.
Um, it's an F word, and
Huh.
it happens in the summer all the time.
Frizz.
There you go.
Ah.
Commonly known
Okay.
as frizz. Yeah.
Okay. I was like,
That's your
struggles for
word of the day, high growth fatigue, the overexpansion and weakening from moisture imbalance. Otherwise
okay.
known as in the street, we call it frizz.
Frizz.
All right, last question.
Ah.
What professional values does all nutrient emphasize in its microfusion formula? fast results, 100% vegan, paraben-free, cruelty-free, and gluten-free, no fragrance, and made for home use and professional use.
The cruelty-free, Bavarian-free. I can't even pronounce these words. That one.
It is vegan, it is paraben-free, it is cruelty-free, and it is gluten-free, yes.
Yeah.
There is also an argument that could be made that it could be used for all of the above as well, too.
Hmm.
So,
Interesting.
yeah. You did really good.
Yeah.
Now, did you want to do the commercial that you made up for the microfusion, or you don't want to skip that one?
Oh, I was just goofing off, and I was like, "Do you have limp hair or dryness? Use microfusion to help hydrate and balance your pH levels." That's what I got.
You said, but wait, there's more.
Yeah, right.
Put pure oil in for
Or
added effect.
add some pure oil. Help your elasticity. Oh
All right.
my god.
What kind of motivation or inspiration or advice do you have for us this week?
Oh, that's a tough one. Uh, I always go with um, give it your all and be the best that you can be. That's what I got.
That's the Army commercial. You're copying the Army commercial. Be all you can be in your.
That's what I got.
That's what you got, huh? It's a good one, though. It's a good one, though. You do have to give it your all the time. You're right. Look, you get nervous a lot, and I'm always telling you, kill that mentality.
Mm,
Right? Don't think, oh, if I can do it, think I am going to do it.
mhm.
There's a big difference in that. I tell you all the time, because if you're like, oh, I think I can do it, I'll try to do it.
Yeah,
You're
like all you can do is try your best, and it is what it is, and you're trying your hardest.
but that's the difference. You're correct. You're absolutely correct. If you go into it saying, I'll just try, I think I can, you're automatically, you're subconsciously gimping yourself a little bit. You know, I always tell you, give yourself the chop and say, do it, and then give it your all and give it
Right, like
everything you got and try your hardest. You're going
exactly.
in saying, I am going to accomplish this.
Right.
Now, at what level you accomplish it, who cares? Because even if you only do a fraction, you still accomplish a fraction, you know?
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I know you're laughing, but I think that's a great advice. I think it's really good advice. So how you and I go over this a lot. We're always talking about this a lot, right?
Mhm.
So how do you know how you get yourself all worked up and you always do this thing, you're like, ah,
I always go like, ah.
and then I tell you, get that out of your head. You are gonna be awesome. You're gonna kick ass. You're gonna do this.
Yes.
So how do you get yourself out, and then you always tell me like, no, I'm not being like that. And I'm like, no, don't even do that at all. Like, just always have it in your head. I will.
Nah.
So how do you get yourself hyped up, pumped up, focused? Like, share with everybody. What do you do? Is there some kind of procedure that you go through in your mind?
I just try to tell myself like, try the best, and like I'll look up what's going on like in the either podcast or the day or something, and I just try the best to like mentally prepare, and you're gonna do as good as you can do, even if it like usually it's a success, but even if like you didn't do good, you still tried. So and that effort, I still think, even though if you like failed or didn't do so good, I feel that you still did good because you went and did what you had to do or tried to do. So I just prepare like, hey, just try your best and, just see what is going on that day or what topic or something, and just give it your all.
Give it your all. You're
I
right.
don't really have any other tricks. You just scream like, ah, and then you're just like, okay, it's time to go.
Got to do this.
Just
It's when
try.
I got you. No, it's always a different perspective. I'm always trying to get a different perspective
Hmm.
because in my mind, there's this expression. Have you heard of this expression? One step forward, two steps backwards.
Yeah, it's almost like a dance.
It's almost like a dance, right? And
Hmm.
so a lot of people always complain and say that. They're like, oh man, every time I do one step forward, I'm always two steps back. I'm like, well, why don't you reverse it? Why don't you take two steps forward and one step back? They're like, see, it still got messed up. See, we're still backwards. I'm like, yeah, but you're still one step forward finally. So
Yeah,
if you're taking one step backwards or if you're taking one step forward and you're ending up two steps backwards, that's just telling you then if something is going to go wrong, then you have to double. You got to triple the effort. You got to do whatever you can to get ahead. You got to fight.
yeah.
You got to fight. And a lot of people think they hear the word fight. They're like, oh, gun, hands up, let's do this. And it's like, no,
Yeah, you're not physically
I'm talking
fighting.
about boxing, right? I'm talking
Yeah.
about all in here and in your
In your
mental.
head, because you always could beat yourself up in your head. I know.
We beat ourselves the worst. We talk ourselves out of doing everything the worst.
Yeah, you're like, well, I don't know if I did this or that. It's just like, I get it because sometimes I do that. And then I'm just like, you know what? I'll just try and do the best. And no one can really get like mad at you for trying. At least you did something.
So you tell me all the time that I try really hard at everything I do.
Yeah.
So you see me. I sit at this computer. What do I do when I'm trying to figure something out, when I do something?
You look things up, you try to read about it, you try to do what you can do.
Do you ever see me say, do you ever see me give up on it? Have you ever seen me give up on anything?
No,
No.
no.
And that annoys you sometimes. Like you wish I would give up sometimes.
I mean, yeah, sometimes we all like, but yeah, you're always like, why is this or how is that? And then you just keep on going and going and going. I know.
So then even when you tell me I'm going to hurt myself, how do I respond to you? Can you tell everybody the little joke I always say to you all the time?
You need a media quota.
Every time I'm going to do something, every time I'm going to do something,
Not cool, not cool.
not cool, but it's got to get done. We got to try to do it. Not try to do it. I got to do it. I got to try my hardest to do it. And if I get hurt while I'm trying my hardest doing it, well, I got my quotas. I got to hurt myself at least
No,
once a day. So that's how that goes. Oh my
yeah,
gosh. All right. You recorded the outro.
yes, I
Do
did.
you remember the outro?
Oh no, I
Oh,
don't memorize
you
it.
could give us the live version of it.
I am the live version of
You
it.
live version of it.
I don't memorize. I'm not good at memorizing things.
All right. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, Any closing thoughts for the audience?
Just stay positive, do your best, and have a nice hair day.
Aww. Very nice way to say it. And you are correct. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Best way to support us is to visit htbbeauty.com. Get out there and make a difference, one client at a time. Thanks for watching. Catch you next week.
Yeah.
The SFTB podcast was not recorded in front of a live studio audience, so thanks for joining us for today's episode. If our hair topics made you smile, give us a thumbs up. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'll read them while waiting for our caller to process. Share this video with your stylists and friends. It helps us make a difference, one strand at a time. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Because your hair deserves all the latest and greatest tips.